Forgotten Stream. We're live casting a Trackmania match between Crazy Machine Chicks and Team SafeMeister. They're competing in Division 1 of United League Report 3 in Trackmania United Forever. I'm joined by Mixed D.
Hello?
So, I'm going to drive Island tonight, so I want to apologize to the viewers in advance because we are only going to cast 2 out of 3 maps. I don't feel like I am able to combine these two activities.
So right now we're in qualifying. This match is going to be on the server we're looking at right now. And actually qualifying is done. So we're just warming up.
Yes, we have finished qualifying. I don't know what map order is going to be.
Well, it looks like we're warming up here. But things could change.
Nobody's saying anything about the map auto preferences. Right, so Granady says he didn't train and he's already pretty quick.
Yeah, I was driving a bit of warm-up, but it's, I suppose I should keep out of it. So TSM's lineup: Granady, Phil and Spedzo. TSM, Team SafeMeister. Well, we'll see how safe they are. But obviously some incredibly skilled drivers on their team.
And even now, while we're warming up, I already say that course is probably going to be a TSM map because we just don't have any really outstanding course drivers apart from Zooz, and he hasn't trained a lot. I think we also ought to explain our bizarre nicknames. So let's call it the Silverwolf gag, shall we?
Yep, take it away.
Because we've got Minuit on TSM, who used to be known as Silverwolf, and he has,
you can see him in the chat in the bottom left right now. Silverwolf.
Yeah. So he has some history with CMC, which we're not going to discuss here. And since CMC had some history, some traditions of using funny nicknames against certain teams, I decided that we should use some meme nicknames for this match. So I'm using some material animal.
Or something like that. I mean, it's a little bit fluid. I mean, boron doesn't really count as a material, I don't suppose. But it's a little bit of variation.
I think I interrupted you when you started talking lineups.
Yeah, well, not really, but I can carry on talking about lineups. Unfortunately, I don't really know who we are going to have playing for CMC on this map.
I can help you out with that. We are going to have Aru, who is RubyAardvark, Neko, CopperAlpaca, and Zooz, SulfurMoose. IronDodo, which is JumperJack, should have qualified in 3rd place, but he decided to step out and leave his spot to Zooz because he doesn't feel confident enough on this track.
I think we're going to have to use the names that we can see, or it's just going to be too confusing
I guess so.
for viewers.
My brain is going to be confused.
Yeah, we kind of know who everyone is because of the colours that they're using in their names.
Fortunately, most of us didn't change the colors.
Yeah, unlike the last time we did this, when I think we went with colour and animal.
Yes, that was 5 years ago, I believe, during SL8, Sunrise
Oof.
League 8.
And of course the colours in the name, the words didn't match the actual colour, just for extra confusion points. Anyway, that's the state of play. Are we... So they're still warming up. Okay, so we've had... This is our 6th round of warm-up.
Finally, Lolita
Yeah.
says go.
It's kind of excessive.
It's probably...
I mean,
yeah, go on.
I think... Sorry, I think back in the day of electronic tournaments, it was not unusual to do up like 10 rounds of... just, you know, sometimes you could do more warm-up rounds than match rounds. So it got a little bit ridiculous. I think people nowadays usually are pretty happy with 2 or 3 rounds of warm-up.
I personally always liked the way it was back in the day with countless warm-up. But I think I should take initiative in my own hands. If I won't do it, who will?
Yeah, indeed. I think in these days of streaming, it's good to have smaller amounts of warm-up.
But it's better.
So,
It's better for the drivers.
yeah.
Right, so we're about to go live.
So we're predicting a TSM win on this one. And we'll just see.
I think it's going to be fairly convincing.
So, who's dropped back? Spedzo. And we've had a crash.
Philly crashed. Granady
Okay.
is leading.
At the moment, CMC are in positions 2, 3 and 5. Now that's a winning position by 1 point, so any change, and it has changed.
Yes, just as you said that, Spedzo goes ahead of Aro, or RubyAardvark.
So right now, it's a TSM win. So let's see this final corner. Could be some crashes. No,
Nobody
okay.
crashing. It's actually closer than I expected.
Yeah, indeed. And Granady, I mean, what can you say first, just like that?
And he hasn't even trained.
He hasn't trained. Yeah, he's a phenomenon.
And I believe he uses a steering wheel for every single environment, including coast.
And Alpaca crashes. So TSM 1, 2, 3. Well, that's a win. But can all change.
After a couple of slides from SulfurMoose, when not really in a position to challenge them at the moment. Spedzo made a mistake. That's still 1-2-14 TSM.
Yeah, there would need to be a lot of mistakes here at the end for anything to change at this point. So TSM with a 1-2. Now 1-2 is enough to win, no matter where your third driver is.
Indeed, because with the points system being the way it is, there are 21 points on offer. So a team needs 11 points or more to win a round. The first driver gets 6 points, the second driver gets 5 points, and so on in decreasing order, or decreasing amounts. So positions 1-2 give you 11 points, and that's an automatic round win.
Okay, so we've had some crashes here, so it's interesting. It's tight right now. Phil is at the back, having crashed. With the positions at the moment, this is a CMC win, but
it's neck and
was.
Yeah,
Spedzo and Moose are fighting it out. This is
Moose crashed.
Yeah, so too many crashes.
Didn't quite make it.
So that is that's an 11-10 win, so it couldn't be closer. Especially with that third and fourth place, they were about a tenth of a second apart. I didn't quite catch it. It was close. So at the moment, TSM running away with it, 3 points to 0. And I should say that each map, whoever reaches 6 points first wins the map.
Meanwhile, Granady crashed, which is a rare sight, even though he's untrained.
Nevertheless, TSM with a 1-2 at the moment, so still looking promising for TSM.
It is actually quite a simple map, so we're seeing quite a lot of close fights. Not really. Nobody's really running away with it on the track because of its nature, unless somebody crashes massively.
That was a close finish, with Aardvark only a tenth of a second behind Spedzo. Just that one change would have been enough to make the difference. So again, an 11-10 win. That's 3 rounds so far have been 11-10.
I believe we had Ceros is very quick on the end round.
Yeah. So Alpaca had a lag start, so just for fairness, we restart that round.
And off we go once again. Granady poking his head into the lead.
Well, that's a fast Alpaca.
Is going quick indeed.
Yeah, just a slight jump too much on that crest. Lost a bit of time there. Alpaca in the lead. Phil must have made a mistake.
He's closely followed by Spedzo and Granady.
This is very tight.
Meanwhile, Moose and Aardvark dropped to 5th and 6th, so whatever.
Yeah, but it's very tight. Okay,
Yes.
and TSM take it.
That is a
Yeah.
TSM round, so they are on match point because they have 5 out of 6 required to win the map.
Well, they can still come back. CMC2's match today, there was a comeback from 5-1. Can happen.
Granady once again in the lead. It's tightly knit back. Phil made a mistake. Moose made a mistake. Alpaca crashed. So basically only Aardvark mixing it up with the TSM guys.
Moose is trying to come back, but it's going to be very tough with these strong players. Spedzo makes a mistake.
Moose is coming back indeed because I was in Spedzo. Oh, that's a double CMC crash.
Yeah. CMC, just team crash. So that is 6-0 win for TSM on coast.
Pretty convincing, just as I expected. What can you do?
Yeah.
I didn't forget to take a screenshot for once.
Alpaca did pretty well there. 24 points for Alpaca.
He's actually second on the points scored.
Yeah.
And now onto desert. Looks like we're going to have Phil, Lolita and Spedzo for TSM, SulfurMoose, IronDodo, CopperAlpaca for CMC. So that is Zooz, JumperJack and Neko. Anything you could tell us about the map? Because I didn't really train it.
Well, this really is quite a tricky map. Especially at the start, there's a jump in the tunnel that for a lot of players have great difficulty with. It's easy to mess up that jump, and that can have you losing a second quite easily.
Yes, that jump, indeed. Even I know it because I did get to play it a few rounds. If you make a bit of a mistake, you can easily do a front flip.
Yep.
And if you don't land on your wheels, then you're totally screwed.
Yeah, the respawns aren't too bad on this map. Unlike, I think the next environment, the island map, the respawns are very slow, very punishing if you make a bad mistake.
Yes, indeed. It's better not to have to use a respawn in that next track.
So here is that jump, and it seems like these drivers, obviously very skilled drivers, they're probably going to do better on it than, you know, they're going to have better consistency. They should be able to make it nearly all of the time.
Unless...
Here,
sorry. Go on.
that quarter pipe, that there's some debate about which is the best line, whether you go up the wall to maintain your speed, or if you take the tighter line very close into the apex to get through it more quickly. You lose a little bit of speed, but really not much. And, you know, is it enough to make up for like going through the corner fast in a shorter time? There's a lot of two-wheel management on this track. This boost is tricky. If you can have all four wheels on the ground for that boost, it's very helpful.
I actually didn't manage to learn how to drive desert properly, though I've been playing this game for quite a few years now, over a decade actually.
Desert is a really tricky environment. I think Trackmania is really underestimated in the complexity of its physics. It seems like a very simple arcade racer at first. Here on Desert you have to think about how many wheels you want on the ground at the same time. You have to consider your gears. Sometimes wider lines are slower because they let you stay in a better gear. Sorry, a wider line can be faster because it lets you stay in a better. And especially on desert, on certain corners, it's sometimes faster to wobble the steering a little bit. So normally with driving, with racing, you want your steering to be very smooth to minimize the potential for sliding. Well, here on desert, it can be a bit different. So just twitching the steering left and right a little bit can actually be faster. Again, this is about managing 2 wheels over 4 wheels. If you're on 4 wheels, you can accelerate more. If you're on 2 wheels, you can turn faster. So that's part of the complexity of desert. And you'll see in this map, in quite a few locations, also that drivers will deliberately lift the 2 inside wheels so that they can get across gaps or bumps safely.
There's also the trick, the off-road trick, I should call it. When you're driving off the road, it's usually faster to wobble left and right.
Yeah, it can be. Depends on the situation. On this map, I don't think there is anywhere that's viable. There's one stretch of sand where you could do that, but you're turning at that point, and it makes it probably not viable to wobble on that section. Admittedly, I haven't tried it. Perhaps I should have. So this section coming up here, yeah, and nobody wobbles on it. So I think it's been determined that just because you're turning at the time, that it's just too risky to try and wobble. The other stretch of sand on this map is actually, it works more like stone. It's not the kind of sand that you can wobble on. It's stone that has the full acceleration anyway.
I didn't actually realize that.
If I remember correctly, and now that I think about it, there's another section. Yeah, so this section right here is stone. It's full acceleration, so no wobble there.
But this is a turn.
And this, that's stone as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you really have to have your eyeballs open for that stuff. And sometimes it's unpredictable as well. At the edges of terrain, sometimes the grip changes as well. So you really have to know the map pretty in depth to understand when it's going to be good to wobble or not. And even on good sand, you have to be going over 200 miles an hour or kilometers an hour, I'm not sure, over a certain speed before the wobbling works. But anyway, here we go.
After only 5 rounds, we're finally ready to go.
5 rounds of warm-up, yeah.
And meanwhile, Phil almost repeated his own world record time in the warm-up, just 800th slower.
Phil, the ladder number 1. For people who play the ladder.
And we've got at least 3 people crashing.
Yeah.
Phil and Spedzo in the lead. IronDodo.
TSM looking very promising at the moment for them. IronDodo making a good effort to catch up.
Spedzo with the tricks. Tapping the brakes before that uphill section so he gets more boost.
There we saw Phil did the wall ride on that quarter pipe, whereas IronDodo went with the tight line. They're too far apart to really tell who gained or lost there. Should have been watching the checkpoint times that are on the left of the screen and tell you the gaps. So that is a TSM win on this round.
Unless Lolita manages not to finish this one, which, by the looks of it, is going
This
to
is a
happen.
draw round. Okay, a draw round because Lolita didn't finish.
And every team scored 10 points. That is a rare occurrence. I should have respawned though.
You really should have. Some people don't like to have their respawn button map in case they press it accidentally. Well, that's more about the retire button, to be fair. If you're used to practicing in time attack, almost any crash, you just retire and retry. So especially in the early days of Trackmania, it was very common for people to just get in that habit of every time you crashed, you hit retire. Well, of course, that's a complete disaster if you're in the middle of a match.
Right.
Most people aren't affected by that anymore.
At the moment, we've got CMC going 1-2. Most of it is in the last position. Phil fighting Dodo.
Phil comes through. But this is still a CMC win.
Yes, it is comfortably CMC win in this round.
So that's 1-1. Or is it? No, it's 1-0.
Because the first round was actually a draw.
Forgot about the draw, yeah. Alright, who's gonna do the jump? Let's see. Oh, somebody messed up the jump. Who's that? Spedzo.
Because he's in the last position. I think I'll switch to Moose in order to view a fantastic battle for the lead between Alpaca and Phil. Those two are taking different lines, as you said. Alpaca went for the apex, Phil went for the wall ride.
So with CMC in two positions 1, 3 and 4, that should be a win, barring any mistakes. IronDodo slides, but it doesn't really matter.
Not to worry, Alpaca and Moose got it covered.
Phil's name messing up the points scoreboard there a little bit.
Yes, some people just like using weird fonts for their nicknames.
Wow, Alpaca was away there, but a bit too fast maybe.
He's way back. I saw Spedzo crashing just before I switched from him. Oh, I mean Lolita crashing before he switched from him to Spedzo. So we've got Phil fighting Moose for the lead, and Dodo and Spedzo with another scrap.
Too close to call. Alpaca is going to keep going because, as we saw, it's important to finish, even if you're going to come last. Alpaca with another crash, actually, so maybe he won't even be able to finish. That's
I also saw.
That's a TSM win anyway. Okay, so that's so now Alpaca's just doing it for the pride. Can he finish to keep his stats intact? Okay, he makes it.
He only just about manages that.
12 seconds behind first place.
Phil.
Okay, so that is still 2-1 for CMC.
Phil is getting away with the points scored. 22-16. Everyone made it safely through. Just watch out for the tunnel. Major.
Spedzo Spedzo had a bit of a loss on it, but yeah, not major.
Phil and Alpaca fighting for the lead again. Alpaca is a bit down this time. Phil made a small mistake. Alpaca made a bigger mistake. But right now, we've got CMC in positions 2, 3, 4. They keep that, should be our round.
Yes, of course, we should declare our biases that both Forgotten and myself are CMC drivers, so some of our commentary is unavoidably going to be a little bit biased. We do try our best, but that's certainly our focus.
Trying our best, but we're still going to be biased anyway because we're watching our teammates play.
Phil and Alpaca with very fast start. They're away. Spedzo again. Oh, Spedzo with a bigger mistake on that jump. He really does not like that jump.
Yes, he fell back about a second behind penultimate place. We've got another battle for the lead. Once again between Alpaca and Phil. Let's see how it unfolds. Once again, they're going for different lines at that mesh quarter pipe.
Moose has found some speed. He's made up a lot of time over that last section.
Phil is gaining in the end. That is not enough. Alpaca with a quick time. Less than half a second from top 1.
That is the best time so far this match. Very close though, Phil only 400ths behind on best match time.
So it's 4-1 for CMC at the moment. Phil with a quick start but a small mistake.
Yeah. Alpaca has fallen way behind. Too slow to make the jump. Spedzo with a mistake. Wow. So Alpaca goes past Spedzo.
Lolita with a big crash.
Okay, so CSM should just play safe here. They could let Phil just go into first, take the 2, 3, 4 themselves, and it would be fine. Of course, it's sometimes hard to realise that when you're in the middle of a match.
With another mistake, so that should be a comfortable CMC round.
Also, sometimes changing your driving style, thinking, oh, I should go safe, and changing a little bit can make you lose your rhythm. It's always just a judgment call on that.
Yes, indeed. So right now it's a map point for CMC. Just one more round to win this map. Moose with a mistake before the tunnel.
IronDodo going slow. Can he make the jump? No, he doesn't. Spedzo with a crash. Well, this is a mess. This is a mess. But okay.
So currently Phil and Alpaca are fighting it out for the lead once again, followed by Lolita, pretty close. But if nothing changes, it's going to be a TSM round. Alpaca clawing away the lead.
Moose is gaining on Spedzo, so that looks like it's going to change soon.
To watch, I'm on Phil. He's gaining on Alpaca. Alpaca with a bump.
IronDodo had a crash, so or maybe a disconnect.
Net lost.
Okay, so I guess we will pause. Maybe, or maybe they're just going to go live into if IronDodo is back. So we're not quite sure if that round is going to count or not. Oh,
Is he even serious? So we're going to stream the passport.
well, already done. Okay, I think we need to find.
So I think we should be live once again. Nope.
IronDodo is not in.
I guess I can force him to be a player.
Yeah.
The power
He
of
did
the
it
admin.
himself. I think you can probably do that from the GUI, but I almost forget. So I'm just typing commands. So we're still not quite sure if that round is going to count, so if it's 5-2 or 5-1, but it might not matter.
Nobody is complaining, so I assume it's going to count. At the moment, Alpaca in the lead, followed by Moose. Phil is gaining on Moose. He's up into second. He's definitely after that Alpaca's blood.
Or his wool.
And he's made a mistake. So right now we've got CMC 1, 2 and 4. So that should be a comfortable map win for us.
Should. But don't count the chickens. That's a 1-2, that's
4.
enough.
Yes.
So GG. So 6-1 or 6-2, who knows?
Let's just say 6-2, why not?
Unless the stats are needed later, then I suppose it really matters.
Right, I have to apologize once again. So this is Island, which I'm going to drive, and this is a pause for casting, because I think we're going to have a few words after the map is done.
You could just deafen me and I could continue with commentary, if you like.
I can't deafen you and...
No, deafen yourself.
No, I mean, your commentary would be distracting me, and I can't have it on the stream without hearing myself.
Ah, understood. Okay.
So... after this round I'll just mute everything, and I'll come back when the map is done. So, apologies to all the viewers. Well, we still have a few seconds left. I'm going to say it's a very crashy map, so expect a crash fiesta. Hello, Mix.
Hi. Back again.
Yep. Well, that was something.
That was an exciting map, that's for sure. I mean, my heart was beating fast. You know, I'm not even on that team.
You got
So what was it like driving?
it was hell. Oh man, I'm literally shaking right now.
That was a good match.
It
Good
was.
map.
I was actually thinking that we weren't going to win it.
Yeah, could have gone either way.
Wow. Luckily,
I mean-
Zooz was pretty good, and they were crushing.
Zooz was on form. Yeah.
They were crusher than us, at any rate.
Yeah.
Wow. Adrenaline's still pumping.
Did we cover everybody's name? I'm not sure we actually explained that AntimonyOyster is forgotten.
We probably have forgotten about that.
And the BoronSpider is myself, Mixd. I mean, I know we covered some of them at the start, but whatever map was first, I think it was a desert. No, coast, sorry. So whoever was playing coast, we probably covered their names, but I'm not sure we got everyone else. CobaltHedgehog was Angelhard, if I remember correctly.
Yes, it was indeed what I think you did before the match.
Oh. Okay. PhosphorChicken is Ceres, who is actually a CMC 2 player. So I think we got RubyAardvark. RubyAardvark is a Rubiano. IronDodo was JumperJack. CopperAlpaca was Neko. SulfurMoose was Zooz. I think that's all I can see on the server. So, so anyone else I've forgotten, my apologies.
So
Not even sure what the lineups were on each map.
Island was myself, forgotten, Zooz and JJ. Coast was Aru, Neko and Zooz. Desert, Neko, Zooz and JJ.
Okay, so we covered everybody. That's something. And now, unfortunately, the matches for the next week will be on new maps. So again, another 3 environments. But the map pack has not been released yet. So we don't know what the maps are. And if we did, right now we would be training them.
There's also something that I can already tell you, is that CMC are not going to have a match in round 3 next week because of how the divisions are structured. We've got 6 teams in Division 1. They are divided between Division 1A and Division 1B. So that's 3 teams per subdivision. Naturally, there's only 1 match per week. 1 team sits it out. So we played round 1 against TMO, round 2 against TSM, and round 3 we've got no opponent. I guess we will probably play a fun match against the No from the other subdivision, D1A.
Yeah, it's quite possible you'll actually have a better match than CMC2. I could be wrong, but I think we faced TFS. or CMC2 faced TFS in Division 2, and TFS are far too strong for Division 2, I would say.
Yes, even on Antimony, you can just take a look at it. They've got top
Yeah.
1, top 3, top 4.
So that's an indicator of the strength of TFS. The Dedimania times on the panel in the bottom right there, and that kind of performance is obviously, well, I mean, those are the best times they've done, so they don't necessarily reflect how they will be able to perform in a match, but that kind of difference in capability is extremely hard, and I would say impossible to overcome in a match.
So, yeah, we've covered the match, we've covered the division systems. I think we will be back next week for something.
Yeah, we'll put on something. I mean, if nothing else, there will be a match for CMC2. Whether that's worth casting or not, of course, is another matter.
The TFS have got extremely quick drivers. That is definitely worth giving it a shot.
Yeah, even just to watch some impressive drivers. And another possibility is to follow a different match completely.
That could be possible, yeah. So I think we can conclude our stream here. I should probably say subscribe to all the viewers, to anyone who's still hanging out there. Hit that bell notification, because you will have more content coming your way. So that was it for tonight. I want to thank you, Mix, for helping me out with the casting.
You're welcome. It was good fun and an exciting match. So yeah, I was very happy to co-cast with you, or be a guest, I should say, on your channel.
So yeah, good night everyone.
Good night.
Until next week.